Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome back to a brand new Vampire Bloodlines 2 video. I know it's been pretty soon since the last Vampire video I did last week, but I did promise you guys that I was going to cover this game throughout 2019 up until its release, and that is what I intend to do. So for all of those who are out the Bloodlines 2 loop, the game is a sequel to an amazing RPG that came out back in 2004 called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So if you want the basic information on what Bloodlines 2 will be, I suggest going and checking out my upcoming RPG video which I did on the game when it was announced. I'll have that linked in the description below. Alright, so on to the news. What do we have today? Well, first up is that mod support is confirmed for Bloodlines 2 from day one. This was confirmed through their developer interview they had during the launch of it. They didn't go into too much detail about it, but I do imagine that they will be providing tools for modders to get their hands on. I'll be honest, since I'm like a new fan to the World of Darkness franchise, I didn't know there was a big modding scene for Bloodlines until I heard of this news and it was like, let's go see if the Bloodlines has a few cool mods, because I am playing that game over on Twitch. So I was just wondering if there's like quality of life mods out there that I can use in the game. And it has. I was actually reading up on this guy who was making a mod called War Games that actually adds new areas, quests, NPCs, and apparently is actually set during World War II, which is pretty cool. I just love that developers, especially RPG devs, are giving communities these tools, because we all have seen what it does to games like Skyrim and Fallout 4. Mods will extend the life of any game. And that's why I'm excited for what fans will create in Bloodlines 2, and when Kingdom Come Deliverance's mod tools eventually come out as well. In my mind, I just kind of want to see what kind of mods people create, because we have seen what kind of mods come out for Skyrim and Fallout. You have serious ones that, stick to the lore and everything, and then you have completely out there ones like turning dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine and shit like that. So I'm curious if that sort of style of modding, let's say, will make it into Bloodlines 2. Moving on to the playtime of Bloodlines 2, yes, Paradox have also confirmed that the game will be around 25 to 30 hours long, which might disappoint some, especially nowadays when people are expecting like 300 hour long open world games. You might look at this playtime and be like, oh well, this isn't really a big deal, and you're right, it actually isn't, but the truth is, a lot of gamers these days do expect their single player games to go on forever and ever and ever, and to last for like 400, 500 hours. A long game is not necessarily a good game. I say this mainly because of the backlash Obsidian got when they first announced that the Outer Worlds would be about 15 to 40 hours long, depending on the type of playstyle that you choose. That length also includes side quests, but I don't think they actually added in the time for people who like to collect collectibles and shit like that, because that adds tens of hours onto the game as well. But yeah, with that game, people were actually disappointed that it wouldn't be like a massive open world game like Fallout and Skyrim, and to be honest, in my opinion, games should be as long as they need to be and not as long as you want it to be. And also RPGs, not all of them have to be open world, to be honest. Take for example the first Bloodlines game. That game, including the side content, was about 30 hours long, and to be honest, that's a good length. I think players also don't take into account as well is the replayability, so you can experience the different clans and such, boosting your playtime. This can go for like any RPG as well, so like one playthrough you play as a stealth character, another playthrough you play as like a massive brute. All that just adds to the playtime. It just means like, oh yeah, 30 hours is roughly your first playthrough, not even including the countless more hours you're going to have onto that game when mods and all that come to it as well. But yeah, sorry if I'm like kind of rambling a little bit in this video. It's just that seeing people be like up in arms about a game's length and shit is a bit silly in my opinion. Like, I would understand the anger if Bloodlines 2 was the same length as like a Call of Duty campaign, but like 30 hours I feel like is a decent enough time. Some more story and gameplay details have also been revealed thanks to PC Gamer's recent magazine, which featured Bloodlines 2. The feature mainly covered things we already know, like how the game starts off and some abilities that we'll be using at the start as well, but it also goes further into detail about characters and other gameplay mechanics. By the way, I'm getting all this new information from user Steel Abjur, I think that's how you say his name, over on the Paradox forum, so big thanks to him for breaking down the magazine feature and posting it on the forums. There will be unique abilities and areas to explore depending on what clan you're with, which means if you want to see everything in the game, you'll need to replay as different clans. I like how this ties back into the replayability factor which we just discussed there. There is a quest called Unsanctioned 7 which has us hunting down other Thin Bloods and learning about how they're coping with their new vampire abilities and how it affected their immortal lives. We already kind of know about this quest, like we've seen it, like I've read it on multiple articles, but they didn't really go too much into detail of it, they just kind of like brushed over it. But yeah, I like how we have a name for it now. We also got a name for our vampire guide as well, who we meet at the beginning of the game, who is called Dale, who sublets us the apartment that we have for our first safe house. Our first safe house though used to belong to another Thin Blood who is murdered by another vampire who we meet and tells us that we aren't on his list. The Thin Blood who was killed was actually trying to figure out who caused the mass embrace that turned us, so his apartment is filled with pinboards, sticky notes and documents, all piecing together clues on who the hell actually caused it. There will be no quest markers above NPCs in this game, so to discover quests you need to go out and explore and interact with NPCs themselves. They use an example for this which involves missing cat posters which can be found throughout Seattle, which apparently leads to an investigation. I wonder if this is an actual example from the game itself or just one they use for this mechanic. If this is actually a quest, then it actually sounds pretty fun. I can just like imagine like a vampire serial killer that kidnaps bloody cats and shit and feeds off them instead of feeding off humans. The more you violate the Masquerade, which means using your powers and feeding in front of humans, will cause civilians to stay in at night as they're too afraid to go out. If you keep violating your Masquerade as well, supernatural enforcers will also be sent after you. So it's kind of like a wanted system as well, which kind of makes sense. I can't remember if that is actually in Bloodlines 1. It probably is. It would make sense if it was, but if this is a new feature for Bloodlines 2, then that's pretty cool. I like that addition. There is also cleanup missions you can take on, which involves you cleaning up the mess of another vampire. I'm curious if these are like the initiation quest for some clans, so any newcomers who join up are forced to clean up the mess of the higher ups. So like, basically the bitches of the clan. It reminds me of like prospects in like the MC, like in Sons of Anarchy. Anyway, yes. Final thing I want to cover in this video is that Bloodlines 2 will not be an Epic Games Store exclusive. Yeah, that is right. Paradox confirmed this over on their Twitter after getting many questions if it will be after what happened to Metro Exodus, The Outer Worlds, and more recently, Borderlands 3. The reason why I'm making a big deal out of this is because it actually is. Epic keeps swiping up all these great upcoming games to entice players over to their shitty platform, and I'm so happy that some companies are actually listening to their communities and doing what is best for their consumers. Honestly, like, I get that Epic is trying to offer better deals to developers, and if they actually eventually improve their platform to be more consumer friendly, I'll go back and say, okay, yes, Epic Game Store is better than Steam. Like, from the developer's point of view, it actually is. They're like, okay, we're gonna get more money off Epic, and Steam won't take 30% off us. Okay, I understand that, but you also need to take into account the actual platform itself, and not just what they're offering you in terms of money. But yeah, right now, in terms of the customers, in terms of the actual gaming community, in terms of the players, the platform isn't really great, and it's actually so much more worse than Steam. And I'm glad Paradox are picking up on the fact that if you become exclusive to the platform, then you will not only be hurting your community, you'll also be hurting your own game in the process. Again, I just want to say, like, Epic, the whole Epic Game Store thing, I don't really want to like make a massive video and all that about it. I do have my own opinions on it, but I don't want to be like among everyone else who are making videos on it, because I think the information is out there, and you're probably wondering why it's like, oh yeah, it's just an extra launcher, Kieran, that's about it, don't make a big fuss out of it. I'm just concerned about the whole security factor of it, because Epic is known for having such shitty security. And even when I actually made an Epic account to play Fortnite that one time, yes I did, I tried that game, of course I did, when it first got big. I was like, okay, let's try it out once. I didn't like it, of course, but you know, ever since then, I've gotten emails upon emails of saying, oh yes, by the way, someone has accessed your account. And I'm like, oh well, thank God I don't have any bloody personal details on there, or money, or anything. So that is my reasons for not trusting Epic, is just for that factor alone. If they improve on this, fantastic, but I'm not putting any of my details or anything like that on their store until they fix all of these issues. So that's all the new Bloodlines 2 info I've gathered for the moment. Expect much more info over the year, and again, as more information comes out, stay tuned to hear for any updates. Also, E3 is actually coming up as well, so you're probably going to be seeing a lot more Bloodlines 2, and maybe we'll actually get a look at that demo that was shown to the press, which was, what, like 30 minutes of gameplay or an hour of gameplay or something like that. I would really like to see that instead of just being like, you know, trusting what these websites have to say about it. Anyway, yeah, special thanks to my brilliant wee patrons Simon609, Devil, Proxy1 and Spooky Nerd for their continued support over on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and what do you guys think of this new Bloodlines 2 information? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, thank you for watching the video, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.